Alright, welcome back to the 21st and possibly final episode of Great Ace Attorney Chronicles.
Please, for the love of God.
As always, my name is Andrew, and regretfully with me is John. So what happened last time? A bunch of bullshit, as I recall. We got to the cat door thing, discovered that the flap in the door was not there at first. And so that revealed that Graydon was lying. But even though Van Ziek said if Graydon lied about it, it would make him look guilty, now they're like, oh, no. It doesn't mean he's guilty. He just lied.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to see how that plays out. I think we're getting to, like, his amended testimony or something. I don't remember what exactly was going on when we saved.
Yeah, that's like one thing that... Oh yeah.
Oh. Okay, so we're definitely not leaving it to the... What? Oh, because of the whole, like, they passed the... Oh, fuck. So we got the whole thing about passing around the disc. What are we trying to prove right now? So we definitely don't want to go to the jury.
No.
Oh, this was the worst place to say.
I know.
What have I done? So... Oh, so was it the... We have the two discs now, right?
Do we?
Yeah, we found it on the...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have the two
So
discs.
we could... I don't know how we communicate this through the evidence system, but we could threaten to play the discs in court, which would reveal the secrets, so Gregson would be forced to admit his deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because do we have anything that proves that Graydon...
I mean, we have plenty of evidence. The game just said no. This is the problem. Justice. Okay, so let's look at our evidence. Oh no. Yeah, I would think that we would present... My guess is we present the music box to Gregson and say, hey, if that disc is unrelated, we can just play it. Right?
Yes.
That's my guess. I wonder if there's two different ways to do it. But that's gonna be my first guess. We'll try that.
I mean, we can always save scum.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Come on, we're not real gamers here. Inspector Gregson, there's one final piece of evidence I would like you to see.
What's that then?
Oh, I had fish and chips for real this weekend. It was alright.
How were they?
I don't think I'll get it again, but it was fine.
Did you put malt vinegar and lemon on it?
There was some kind of sauce. I didn't really think about what was in it. I didn't know you had to put malt vinegar and lemon on it.
So it's like malt vinegar, lemon juice, and tartar sauce are like your three toppings that you can put on the fish, or you could use all three, or you could use just one. You know?
I think it was tartar sauce. It was something adjacent to tartar sauce.
Yeah,
that came with it.
I like all three.
I'm gonna make a confession. I was a stupid Yankee and I put ketchup on it. I like it a lot better with ketchup. If you refuse to acknowledge that you did in fact strike a deal with the witness here today, you leave us no choice but to examine this piece of evidence thoroughly.
Wow, go on.
This is my last chance. It looks like I'm gonna have to force his hand here. One final piece of evidence to get this detective to admit to the deal, he clearly struck with Graydon. It's either the disc or the box, because those are like the only things that both Gregson and Graydon have touched.
I would think the box.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Take that!
All of easy stuff. We got it. We did it. Let's go.
Is that Mr. McGinn's Peculiar Music Box Council?
Yes, with a disc already in place, ready to play. I think perhaps now would be a good time to listen to the sound produced by the music box again. Only this time, with the second disc we've just discovered set in place as well.
Goodness, this disc council.
Hold it!
No, wait! I can't let you do that.
Yeah, we figured it out. Nice. I'm proud of myself. Why not?
Because it's got nothing to do with this case. That's why.
Objection!
Not true, Inspector.
Ah.
Defense has already proposed. The sounds heard by the court earlier from this music box were part of a Morse code message. We know that Morse code comprises of 2 distinct tones. Oh, so I wonder if we could present this to both of them, and it would just word it differently. Like, we would prove that he was there to steal government secrets by revealing that there were government secrets on the disc.
Possibly.
Yeah. Anyway. The defense believes that the second disc contains the second tone needed to complete the message. Now we have a chance to confirm that theory.
For crying out loud, Sunshine. We're talking about state secrets here.
I don't give a shit. I'm Japanese. If you go
And
let
if you're
them...
letting the whole courtroom hear confidential information like that, it's treason.
Again,
It's treason.
I'm not British, I don't care. And do you admit the charge? In order to protect those state secrets, you engaged in unlawful dealings with the witness?
You're mad. You're putting words in my mouth. If you let that secret information out into the public domain, you'll be making an enemy of the entire British government, you idiot.
Objection!
Let's not forget, Inspector, that you, a Scotland Yard officer, leaked confidential case details to a witness. But you continue to lie to the court, and all because, by fair means or foul, you're determined to do your duty. Well, by fair means or foul, I'm prepared to do mine.
Don't you dare.
I will stop at nothing to protect my client. I don't care who I make an enemy of. What could go wrong?
Well, my learned Japanese friend, it appears you will die.
I feel like this would be like an event in Victoria too. They would pop up randomly.
Oh my
Like
God.
there are events like that. Like the ambassador like says something insulting, and you lose prestige and befriend the country, or you gain prestige and like give them a casus belli.
Oh my God, Victoria 3 better have this.
That'd be pretty good.
As like a thing that can happen with like the Japanese-British relationship before.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. My lord, if you please, the court must hear the sounds made by that music box.
Come on, Zeke. For Pete's sake, stop him.
Objection!
God.
Hiya! Inspector, you should know my methods by now. I'm a prosecutor. I'm no Scotland Yard puppet.
I'm a doctor, not a puppet.
In this courtroom, my duty is to the law, so let me propose a toast. To uncovering the truth, by fair means or foul.
No! Oh! I found it! She was alive! Very well, the defense stands here, and that of the prosecution has been made very clear, I think.
Yeah, we're like one step away from the secret police coming in and just arresting everyone.
Queen Victoria walks in.
Now! Therefore, in accordance with the defense's request, the court will now listen to as this music box is set in operation once more. This time with the second disc in place and both discs playing simultaneously.
Okay, so assuming that we actually get to hear it and, like, some character decodes it, what do you think it's going to be? Because it could be that Gregson just admits that he stole it and we move past it and we never actually hear it. But if we hear it, it has to be important to story somehow. And I was thinking what we talked about yesterday. I think Kazuma and
Susato?
Yeah, Susato. I think they were spies. That was their first mission, and so this will be something about them. I think that would make the most narrative sense.
Mm-hmm. Also, I have a notepad pulled up, and I'm going to try to follow along.
To decode it. I mean, it helps that we have characters in the story who can decode it for us.
No. It's one of those things where it's like, do they go the extra effort?
Oh yeah, is it real?
Morse code
Yeah.
Real, yeah. Okay.
I'm sure it'll be too short to be the whole message, but let's see.
Oh shit.
It's really fast. Oh, listen to that. It's unmistakable now. It's Morse code.
Whatever you want, but for the love of God, I didn't catch the last line.
Shut that blooming box up. Silence. Let me ask you again then, Inspector Gregson. Did you or did you not strike a deal with the witness next to you in the stand, Mr. Ashley Graydon? Bleh.
Specifically, did you furnish the witness with confidential case details in exchange for this music box disc? Did you reveal the existence of the peephole in the pawnbroker's storeroom door, Inspector? I did. I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those damn kids and that dog. Stop! What are you doing, man?
That's the other guy.
Oh, stop! What are you doing, man?
It's all exactly like the young Eastern lawyer said. When the trial resumed after the recess, and we were stood here in the stand together, that's when he approached me with the deal.
Shut up, you imbecile! Shut up!
I assume this is Graydon in the past.
Psst. You there? You're the detective who turned up at the pawnbroker the other day, aren't you? I may have something you're looking for, Inspector, with me at this very moment. So how about a trade? I suggest you accept. Or information that may make certain individuals uncomfortable, who become very public indeed.
I couldn't let that information be public knowledge, not under any circumstances. So I accepted the man's proposal and told him details about the case. I should have put him in the clear. The peephole in the storeroom door and the blood stains over the overcoat.
Giving false testimony, this witness intended to have the defendant wrongly accused of murder. I mean, wrongly convicted of murder. He's already been accused. Inspector, you knew that. Yet you still reveal those details to facilitate the witness's perjury.
I do it again! I did. But then it turned out the peephole had only been made that night after the incident took place. Scotland Yard wasn't aware of that, if I'm perfectly honest.
Well, Mr. Graydon, what do you have to say for yourself? There's nothing and no one left for you to hide behind. You struck a deal with the inspector in order to escape conviction of a very serious crime. Namely this. You are the third intruder who broke into the pawnbroker on the night in question. And you perpetrated the murder of the proprietor, Mr. Pop Windebank.
You! Traitor!
Oh my god! Holy shit!
Fuck?
Oh my god! Somebody help him!
Oh, did you see his like fish and chips?
Yeah.
Bailiff, restrain that man! At once!
Oh my god, he straight up chokes him out in the court. That's it then. It's all over.
Were all those ... dots really necessary?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's Gridden.
I despise my life growing up. Those slums are vile places. I was cursed from birth, born into poverty, the son of a penniless artisan. My parents did nothing but quarrel all day long. What little money they had was never spent on me.
Death!
So I set about studying to better myself, to one day escape from that hellhole.
And you eventually became a communications officer. I admire your determination.
Then you decided to try to suck government secrets? Why?
Isn't it obvious? Because I wanted money. Even now, years later, the nightmares of my life in the slums wake me in the small hours. I wanted to drown them out with more money than anyone who lived in that squalor could ever imagine. Then one day I met him. Mr. Magnus McGilder.
You're a fiend with a queer talent. So you are. I have money to throw your way if you're interested. All you need to do is go along with me a little plan now.
I was to steal the ministry's telegraphic messages logs, and McGilded would buy them for a handsome sum.
What if McGilded was like leaking this information to the IRA or whatever the equivalent was at this time?
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
As I was responsible for inspections of the ministry's communications office, it was a simple enough task.
The lure of the devil's offerings. How easy it is to succumb.
But you must surely have realized the seriousness of the crime you were committing.
And for that reason, I took great lengths to ensure that my actions were untraceable.
By using the music box.
My father was a brickmaker, though my mother divorced him when I was still a child.
See, this is why divorce should be illegal.
Yes.
Causes treason.
God.
Yes, Mr. Mason Milverton.
That's right. He was very skilled with his hands. He'd once been a music box maker's apprentice. I imagined his skills would be sufficient to create a machine that could generate Morse code. So I thought of my father again, to employ his services.
I wonder if he told him, like, if he recognized his son or whatever. That could be fun to find
It was
out.
the first time I'd seen him since I left the slums 10 years earlier. Yeah, that would be sad.
Yeah. Suddenly a different art style entirely?
Yeah. Look at Josh,
do you want to do him?
yeah, you do him, because I
Yeah.
can't figure it out.
Yeah. Look, what do I do?
You could try doing a southern accent.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh god. I think I had one until you tried to oh no. Look at you, Ashley. What a fine gent you've become, eh? That's not southern, but we'll go with it.
Yep. He was a different man than the one in my memory, a thin, frail old man. But poverty had never broken him, never corrupted him like it had me. I was sure that he wouldn't help me if I told him the real reason. So I made up a story. I've got some work for you, Father. I need some music box disc made.
Music box
That's-
disc, eh? Not working.
A musician friend of mine has written some music he wants to sell to the public. I've brought the score with me. There are two, actually.
I'd be delighted, son. It's been 20 years since I did any work like this, though. There, it's getting better. Fetch my tools, would you? They're in the loft.
That's how I had to make the two discs.
Thereby splitting the information in two. You are taking considerable precautions indeed.
Just imagine his dad, though, who's like, oh god, clearly this musician is
It's
bad.
trash. Yeah, it's like, well, I gotta support my son's friends.
Yeah. Like one note. He's like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
it's
well,
like, what
you
the
know."
fuck? Kids these days, they listen to trash.
It wants to protect myself as much as anything. It meant that I could deal with McGilded in two separate transactions. The first involved the first two discs in the music box for playing them. I exchanged them with McGilded for 10 guineas.
That's it? I mean, I don't remember if we established the value of a guinea, but, like, I remember at one point, like, we paid a guinea for cab fare. So, like, would you sell out your country for, like, 10 Uber rides? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a lot of money.
Then one receipt of the second disc. He would pay 1,000 guineas.
All right, okay,
No,
really.
that's more like it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so...
I think it was like a guinea was a pound, but I don't know what a pound was. Or a guinea was like a gold coin or something.
So 10 pounds today
Hmm.
would be worth 1,000 pounds. 1,095. And so, and how much do you say that he would pay him 1,000 guineas
Uh huh.
with like the second disc or something?
Uh huh.
So that would be $109,534 today.
Okay. So that's a lot of money.
So, yeah, because I think Susato accidentally paid the guy a guinea for cab fare.
Yeah, like she didn't understand the value. Yeah, something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened on the omnibus 2 months ago? Oh, so he didn't even get the money. Like McGilded found out who's making the disc and tried and killed him for it.
Oh.
Was the second part of a deal the exchange of the second disc? Oh, but his dad didn't know, and he thought it was for his son, so he didn't give it up.
Yes. I'd sold the man information that way a number of times already. But it seems he became reluctant to part with his money.
But that doesn't quite make sense, Mr. Gray. For why was it that on the omnibus 2 months ago, your father, Mr. Milverton, was the one dealing with Miss McGilded and not yourself?
When I received the 1,000 guineas after my first completed dealings with McGilded,
Okay, so this has been going on for more than one deal, so he has got quite a bit of money out of this.
oh wow,
Yeah.
I decided to give 200 to my father for his trouble. But my father realized something was amiss. In time, he worked out that I must be involved in something dubious. And when he did, he said to me,
Next time that there's an exchange, you'll let your old man do it, understand? I don't know what happened to this voice. Otherwise, I won't take your money anymore.
that was my father's way of dealing with it, I suppose. Climb into the omnibus, hand over the second disc, and take the money from the Gilded, that's it. He had no idea what was actually on the disc I'd asked him to make. He never knew. Just like I'll never know when everything went so horribly wrong that night. All I know is that this disc was taken from him, and he never returned home. It was only then that I found out what sort of monster McGilded really was. So after 10 years of not once uttering it, I swore on my father's name. To exact revenge!
It's like he elbowed him in the face. Like if McGilded was there, his face would have been elbowed.
Oh, yeah.
Revenge! He's gonna admit to the fire, I guess.
A dish best served cold.
As anyone with even Zeramota's knowledge of Zuman will no doubt be able to imagine, McGilded brought all his wealth and influence to bear in the most despicable of ways. Break. To crush any semblance of justice in his trial. The crime scene was tampered with, evidence was fixed, and witnesses were bribed. That trial 2 months ago was a farce from start to finish. If he did barely touch British soil back then. I walked into that hornet's nest completely unaware of the sinister background to it all.
I made plenty of money on my dealings with McGilded by then. So I spared nothing in my arrangements 2 months ago. I knew exactly who to hire. Oh, it's gains fixed. If you're willing to pay the price, there are people in the city willing to do anything you ask. All 10 of them.
Yeah.
McGilded himself had shown me that.
Are you saying that...
I think you have the picture now. After he twisted everything to favor in this courtroom to ensure that he walked free, I took matters into my own hands and delivered the justice that monster deserved. That tragic accident following the trial here 2 months ago was planned and executed by yours truly.
McGilded's death that day was caused by this man. Everything is ready, sir, if you'd like to follow me into the courtroom.
This officer, 'tis sooner than I was led to believe.
I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule.
Well, oops, that was wrong answer. But I must be making tracks now. Well, they're with McGilded. 'Tis time for the inspection.
There you go. He's back.
Yep.
Well, apparently, like the not the southern like gentleman accent, but like the Appalachian accent is basically Irish accent, because like all the
Really?
because like where all the Irish people went.
Huh. Weird.
And like the southern gentleman accent is like a British accent from the time, because like the rich people. Yeah.
They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself.
Why did he do that? I thought he faked his death, and this was set up. But like he's like, yeah, let me stick around this court for some reason. So that policeman who came to tell McGilded he could examine the omnibus again.
That's right, an imposter hired by me. McGilded used his wealth to manipulate the trial. He paid people to adulterate the omnibus with a manner of false evidence. He threatened witnesses to lie in their testimony. So I gave the man a taste of his own medicine. Once the omnibus was doused in paraffin, one of my sham policemen ushered McGilded inside and sent him on a one-way journey to hell. An eye for an eye. That's how I avenged my father's death.
That was pretty good.
A spine chilling accountant D.
But that wasn't the end of it for me. There was a loose end, you see. Well, it rhymed.
A loose end?
Yes, I should think it's obvious. The second disc, which my father had taken to exchange with McGilded.
Ah, yes. There was indeed no mention of it in the man's trial 2 months ago. Clearly because it had been removed from the scene of the crime.
When I realized it was missing, I remembered something. Something from the first time I dealt with McGilded. The long and extensive conversation we had about pawnbrokery and how it is a more and better secure way of holding on to property and wealth. This is the first of the 2 discs on the music box you need to play them. Ah, look at that now. What an ingenious little invention. So then, as promised, 10 guineas for you, young man. What's this? Wind Rings Pawnbrokery? Aye, 'tis a pawnbroker's ticket, so it is. You can use it to redeem an article I deposited there for you. There's no need to give a name, just hand over the ticket and tell the fiend the watchword. I'll put a jewel in pawn for you. I'll fetch a good 10 guineas, if you sell it, so will. I've never heard of a pawnbroker being used in quite that way before.
Let's discuss the details of how this works. How does this business make money?
Have you out, Mr. Graydon? London's pawnbrokeries are very useful places, you know. Each one is like an extremely secure vault.
Oh my god. Please.
It is. So I knew that if he'd taken steps to hide the disc, it would be in that pawnbroker somewhere. And that on the night he killed my father, he must have entrusted the ticket to someone.
Yes, to Gina. I remember now that when we first met you at Windibanks that afternoon 2 days ago, you had a description of Miss Lestrade written down. How did you know who you were looking for?
From the trial, that pickpocket's testimony was clearly peculiar. Anyone could see that. I realized immediately that she was another of McGilded's pawns, that he must have threatened her somehow. I was fairly convinced it would be her who had the ticket. So I started to make some inquiries. I had a strong suspicion that girl would come out of the woodwork on the redemption deadline.
And he was absolutely right.
Yes, sure enough she did. All I needed to do was wait until the girl went to Windibanks to redeem the articles. But unfortunately, she redeemed only McGilded's overcoat and the 1 disc that was in the pocket. The all-important music box with the 2nd disc inside was missing.
Because it had already been forfeited 2 days earlier. But that would mean it was on the shelf when he walked in. He could have just bought it.
Yeah. But I was unaware of that fact. I could have avoided my nighttime excursion.
So the whole thing was unnecessary? He just didn't see it on the shelf?
Yep.
Wow.
Meanwhile, as our investigation into the stolen government secrets was progressing, we picked up on the fact that McGilded was involved.
Inspector, you've recovered fast.
My orders were to recover the stolen information as quickly as possible. So we started gathering the fellow's possessions and examining whatever we could lay our hands on. We had a full-scale investigation going on at the yard, but we had to keep it as quiet as we could.
Then, when the inspector here took the disc from me, the pawnbroker that day, I became nervous. I was sure the music box and the 2nd disc was still there in the shop somewhere. So I knew that it was a race against time. I had to find those articles before the police did.
So that's what prompted you to break into the place that same night. The help of your old friends, the Skulkin brothers. I guess because he knew that the police were already on his trail, kind of. I guess that does speed up his timeline, but he should have noticed it on the shelf and just bought it.
Yeah. What happened that night in the pawnbrokery, I could only describe as a nightmare.
Would you like a bourbon? Yes, master.
While Nash and Ringo were searching the counter, I'd located the music box I'd stolen to McGill off the shelves for the forfeited articles. Yeah, Mary just got home.
Yeah, we can hear.
Oh, good. Good thing this isn't on the internet or permanent.
Exactly. And it's the second disc of what's inside?
Why, yes, I slipped into my pocket with a very deep sigh of relief. But then, something entirely unexpected happened.
His neck looks super long there. I don't remember what accent I have for this guy. What are you doing in my shop? Bang.
A gunshot rang out in the shop, and I felt a sharp pain in my left arm.
Sprockle fired his gun, and the bullet pierced your limb.
Yes, exactly. But unfortunately, I decided to bring my own gun with me that night, just in case.
Bang.
Bang. Before I knew what had happened, I'd fired back. The man had already turned to flee. I hadn't intended to fire in his direction, but thus kill him. But unfortunately for both of us, the bullet hit home. You see, it was his fault that I shot him.
Exactly. While breaking into his store.
Yeah, it struck him in the middle of the back as he fled through the storeroom door for refuge. Oh my god. Mary just sent me a gif of driving Miss Daisy.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, Ted.
It all took place in the blink of an eye. I don't imagine Nash and Ringo even realized what had happened at first. I was terrified, so I fled. And that's the whole story. That's everything that happened at Winterbanks on that wretched night. But yet, it's still Gina.
Yeah. All right. Guilty.
Guilty.
Yeah, like half the jury is like falling asleep.
Huh? The girl did it? Okay.
Earlier, you called McGilded a monster. A man who used his wealth and influence to distort the facts and escape justice for the crime of murder. But you have done the same thing. Of a tragic irony for what you have done. It's exactly the same.
Well, Mr. Wayne, you ought to live long enough. Would I insert that quote there? Because I already know I'm going to butcher it. So.
You either live long enough to wait. You either live long enough to see yourself become the villain, or you get busy dying.
Yes. Wait, no, that's not even correct. Because that's like...
I know, that's Shawshank.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to do, and then I screwed it up.
Also, I just realized that it's not Morgan Freeman's character that tells him that, it's Michael Caine.
Whatever.
Nevertheless.
You've become the very monster you saw and despised so deeply in McGilded. God, Bezeeks, can you chill? Like...
I think Vance's just wants him to kill himself so that way the state doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I have.
Jake says, I'm pretty sure it was Two-Face who said that.
Is it?
Yeah, in the, like, I think when they had dinner. But it's like, before he's Two-Face, I don't remember. Whatever.
I don't know. It's been a minute.
The important thing is it wasn't Morgan Freeman's character from Shawshank Redemption.
Well, this has been a long and exhausting trial.
You tell me.
However, I would like to go back over the rules upon brokering. It would seem that at last we have arrived at the truth. Inspector Gregson, what of Mr. Ashley Graydon?
He's been restrained, my lord.
and is being escorted to the yard. He'll be charged with the murder of Mr. Whitmick.
Our milkshakes is taking him to the yard.
And her life, it's better than yours. And the stealing of government secrets. Very good. And you, Inspector, regrettably, you will have to face charges yourself.
I mean, surely he could get a pardon, right? Like, he was literally, like, doing the Secret Service's job or whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but... Yeah. Yes, my lord, of course.
It transpires that you are complicit in helping a criminal escape justice. Such fact remains, whether or not you are doing so, it's the line of duty. The crime is a serious one, Inspector, and inexcusable.
Now to the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Ah, yeah? I've been here the whole time.
It is time for the final adjudication. Is the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? 352 points, Gryffindor. Yes, sir. Gandalf Squadron standing by, sir. This is really it now. The last push, the final call, the finishing whistle. All men by the ready to deliver the verdicts. Thank you, Mr. Foreman. Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. We will now declare the final decision to the court.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Guilty, guilty, yes.
Yeah.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
She should be, like, devastated right now, because Graydon was her idol. And he just confessed to, like, 2 murders, treason, like...
Oh.
Aha! That's the stuff! I'm off the hook!
Finally, Bruno, you managed to do it.
Finally is the word. I really wasn't sure if we'd come out on top for a while there.
Susie was right. You're the floor of the world. Miss Lestrade, I am not finished with you yet.
Hey, wait! What are you looking at me like that for?
Before you start enjoying your freedom, there are certain other crimes to consider.
Like being poor. Hey?
2 months ago in my courtroom, no less, you gave false testimony, did you not? And in relation to the trial today, not only did you unlawfully enter Winterbrink's pawnbrokery, you also attempted to abscond with Mr. McGilden's property, it seems.
Eh?
30 points removed from Slytherin.
I never done nothing of the sort. Of course not. It's not like you were gleefully wearing McGilden's coat in your cell yesterday or anything.
Oh, and just when I was getting excited about throwing a party for Virginia this evening. And turning our attention to the defense. Determining that when played together the music box just contained a message in Morse code was... Well, it was certainly a most unexpected revelation, counsel. 50 points for ingenuity.
Quite so, my lords. The prosecution was caught entirely off guard. In fact, I think we should applaud my learned friend's courage here today. I propose a toast. To demanding that government secrets be disseminated before the entire courtroom. Ah!
You see, it takes more courage to tell your friends no.
Than to tell the enemy government yes. Very sorry about that. It was the only way I could get Inspector Gregson to admit what he'd done, so, I guess it's Gregson, but I don't know.
Yeah. If I may say something just on that point.
Isn't that... Oh, fuck.
No.
It's about the sounds produced by the music box before. When he's just like, they weren't Morse code, it was, you were all wrong.
God.
Great, it's just like, oh, I confessed for nothing.
it's like, it turns out it's like a recipe on how to make cake.
Yeah.
Oh my
god. I do wonder if that was really Morse code at all. What? What are you saying, madam? Oh, well, it's just that I'm really rather fanatical when it comes to Morse code, you see. So much so that the whole world seems to be covered in dots and dashes to me, in fact.
She's the one.
Yeah.
Goodness, madam, and healthy level of obsession one feels.
I must say that, in my opinion, the sounds produced by those two discs were nothing more than that. A meaningless series. A meaningless series of two different tones.
What? Oh my god.
Wow.
A typo at this point of the game?
Yeah.
Come on.
So maybe it's my guess is maybe the dad figured it out and sabotaged him. That's my guess.
Mm.
What? Can that really be? It wasn't Morse code after all? My lord, the defense would like to listen to the music box again.
Are you out of your nuts? How many times do I have to tell you those discs contain ministerial secrets, Sunshine?
Jake says, typos in a visual novel with probably close to 1 million words. Pathetic.
Very pathetic.
So completely unrelated, but that reminded me of some statistics that I remembered. Like the book, like a 2001: A Space Odyssey, is like 50,000 words. I think everything in the A Song of Ice and Fire series is like a couple 100,000 words. It's like 700,000 or something. There was a Pokemon fanfiction that I read in high school, which got to like 1.5 million words.
What the fuck? Well, okay, pause the game. You have to tell me everything about this Pokemon fanfic.
It was really grimdark. It was really
How
dumb.
erotic was it?
Not that erotic, but it was really grimdark and violent.
Like people killing Pokemon?
Pokemon like killing people more so.
God.
Yeah, it was pretty dumb. I just remember how many fucking words it was.
That's wild. Oh my god.
Anyway, I wonder how many words there are in this game.
Oh god.
It's got to be a lot.
Yes.
And how many of them are pawnbrokery?
Oh my god. Or my learned Nipponese friend.
Exactly. Like the word, I forget we call it like word page, where like the more that a word is used, the bigger it is.
Oh yeah, like the word clouds.
Yeah, word cloud. It'll be like objection in the middle.
Yeah.
And like pawnbrokery.
Like, hold it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Nippon and Nipponese, like. This courtroom is not an appropriate forum to discuss the nature of the government communications. We know McGilda conspired to trade national secrets with our enemies, secrets acquired from Mr. Graydon. Now, since the man has admitted to his crimes, we have no need to pursue the matter further. But it's really going to bother me.
That's fine. It'll be the next case.
Yeah.
Miss Lestrade.
Yeah, me lord?
That which you have seen today here in this courtroom has been extremely disturbing.
Falsified evidence, intimidation, perjury, a grim catalog of depravity.
An appalling experience to befall any child. But it's a good thing we're going to try you as an adult.
Yeah. Come on, it ain't nothing I don't see most days in the back slums.
I beg your pardon.
If you're weak, you pay for it. That's just how life goes. Gina. But look, I reckon I've worked something out today. The world ain't fair, but the world ain't fair, but if you want it to change,
You bribe and steal your way to it.
yeah, you've got to start at home. You've got to change how you are yourself.
Well, that's a very laudable lesson, I would say. I really look forward to the born-again Miss Lestrade never gracing my courtroom with her presence again. Now, with regard to the murder of Mr. Puff Winterbank, proprietor of pawnbrokery business on Baker Street.
Jake says, the world ain't fair, but have you ever read Atlas Shrugged?
Oh my god.
hereby declare the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, not guilty.
Yay. Oh god, she's gonna come!
Oh, God.
You imagine how deaf you would be if the fucking firework went off in like this kind of chamber, like which is
Oh my
always yeah. Just everyone's like ah.
That is all. Court is adjourned.
Ah, good. I have you to myself.
Yeah, it looks like they might have like an epic duel in the middle of this room right now.
Like Van Seats like pulls his arm up and it's got like a disc, like Yu-Gi-Oh like blade thing on it.
Yeah.
It's time to take you to the Shadow Realm, my learned Ethan's friend.
On a personal note, I must say you've surprised me, my Firestone friend. Oh. Despite being a Nipponese, you saw through the pretense of to the malice that festered within that Englishman, Blair. And at the same time, saw through the grime to the surprising heart of your English client. You have a curious talent for judging character of English people, especially considering our very different cultures. I don't think there's anything curious about it. Whether we're from the Empire of Great Britain or the Empire of Japan, we're all human beings. We're not too very different on the inside. You know, I took this case for one very simple reason. To lock swords with you once again here in the courtroom. So I was completely wrong that he was like, that his whole agenda was catching this spy thing.
Yeah.
You did? When I encountered you for the first time 2 months ago, it reminded me of toasting friendship and trust with another Nipponese, only to find my trust betrayed. Through you, I hope to look into the eyes of the man I once knew and try to understand. Who would that be? You mentioned something similar earlier today, about total betrayal at the hands of the Japanese. What happened exactly? Well, you may ask. And one day, once the time comes, you will learn the answer, whether you like it or not. Are they going to leave this whole fucking plot hook? Are you serious? Are they not going to resolve this? I'm actually...
That's what the sequel is for.
Yeah. Alright, then I'll wait for that day if I must. Coming soon. Yeah, Jake says that's the entire sequel. Coming to
I think it almost seems like it would be fitting for this game, though, that like the first case is like Van Ziets is murdered, and you have to like try to prove, like, because I almost feel like it would just mirror the story beats of like this game. So it's the guy that murdered him either gets off scot-free or like you sentence the wrong person, and then the big conspiracy unravels.
Yeah. Coming to be known as the Reaper of Zebalia in my retirement from service 5 years ago. It gives me cause to wonder if our meeting has some deeper purpose. So, farewell, my learned Nipponese fellow, until we meet again. Jake is saying in chat, the first case is pretty interesting, and then every case after that is relevant and moves the story a little. And he's like, almost like there shouldn't have been two games; there should have been just one game. And that's how I'm feeling right now. If this is how this game ends. 17th April, 5:24 p.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Dun dun.
Dum dum.
It's done. It's over at last. But where's Iris disappeared to? Ah. Congratulations, Gina. I knew it all along. I knew you were innocent. He, like, behind his back, he, like, crumples up the guilty plea he's about to read out. Like, like yeah, it's like, I knew you had it the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, you did what you said, Mr. Naruto. You believed in me. Right up to the end. You're as odd as your name. What's odd about it? I told you I had faith in you, didn't I? Also, I'm just Japanese, like, it's not weird. No one ever has before, see? Kept the promise, I mean, properly. That's awful. I figured something out today. All my life growing up in the slums, I've never trusted no one. That's just because I've been scared of being stabbed in the back. I mean, the more you trust someone, the more it hurts when they let you down.
Figuratively and
Literally. Yeah. Yes, I think I can understand that. After all, I had a taste of it in that trial 2 months ago. Also, Iris's dad is dead. We keep forgetting about that. What the fuck? What was that first case?
It's irrelevant.
Yeah. I'm sure it's resolved in the next game. Which is really dumb. I chose to trust someone and paid for it. That betrayal left a big scar. You know, though, Jaina, I worked something out quite recently, too. Trusting in someone else is really an exercise in learning to trust yourself. What? And when your gut tells you it's the right thing to do and your trust is rewarded, there's no better feeling in the world. I think I have you to thank for reminding me of that valuable lesson. Oh, well, if you say so. Don't make a fat lot of sense to me, though. I'm trying to say that putting my faith in you, Gina, has been a real pleasure. For crying out loud, pack it in! Keep it in your pants. But I suppose I sort of feel the same way. I mean, sometimes trusting someone else is, you know, alright. Thanks. This is the way I see it, Reinosuke.
This is the way.
A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. After this experience, I'm starting to feel like I understand what you mean. Kazuma, am I living up to your expectations? Am I turning out to be the lawyer you believed I could be?
No.
Holy shit, I could have solved that case in 2 seconds. Come on, man.
It was obvious.
Pardon the interruption. Oh, it's Holmes.
But what the deuce does a man have to do to be noticed around here, my dear fellow?
Didn't he, like, pass out? Or put
Yeah.
blood lots or something?
That's also a crime.
Yeah. That voice.
It's too late for that voice now, Mr. Naruhodo. I've been standing here patiently in the corner of the room for an eternity. Yes, it was me all along, I would have said, when you finally noticed me. But you people with your incessant babbling.
Ah! Mr. Schultz!
Yes, it was me all along, you see.
Was he wearing all that under the bailiff
Oh, yeah.
uniform? He's got to be burning up in there. I just think you'd be taken back to the hospital, to be honest.
Indeed I was, but I managed to escape again.
Oh.
It happened to be aware of one or two foibles of the doctor who was trending to me. I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily issued me with a leave of absence.
I'm very above board.
But enough of my inventions. That was a fine victory, Mr. Naruhodo. Your tireless efforts truly rewarded I feel. Congratulations on order. As a close friend, I tip my hat to you.
Oh, thank you. Humph. Some great detective you are. Great at being cold as ice, maybe.
At you in some way, Miss Lestrade?
Oh, you've been having us snooze in your nice soft beds and we've been fighting for our lives.
Ah, well, that bullet did cause me to lose a substantial amount of blood, it's true. So I have indeed been feeling somewhat cold. Not perhaps as cold as ice, but well, I have a feel. Oh, God.
Could you take your hands off my neck, please, Mr. Schultz?
In some way, I suppose, congratulations are in order for you too, Miss Lestrade.
What's that supposed to mean? Why so half-hearted?
Well, naturally, it isn't my intention to alarm you, but
He's about to collapse on the floor, I guess.
an acquittal in a trial with that particular prosecutor is perhaps a little precarious.
Oh, we got Eskia in the chat again. Sup? Are you coming back to CPL? Starting, like, in 2 weeks. I'm hyped. Anyway. Well done, Mr. Sholmes. Not alarming in the slightest. Oh, the Reaper, you mean? Because anyone who's found not guilty in a trial he was working on winds up dead anyway? Is that it? Bleh.
The very point I was trying to make. As exemplified by the fate of Mr. McGilden, in fact. Ah, but of course, I pay no attention to such irrational dribble myself.
Yeah, well, it don't bother me.
Oh, really?
Of course not. The way I see it, the Reaper's a bit like him upstairs. Him upstairs? You mean, like, God? What is going on in this game? Yeah, him upstairs knows what's what, right? He knows what people are like on the inside. He knows if you've been sleeping. He knows if you're awake.
If you've been naughty and nice.
Yeah. You won't have got the wrong end of the stick. There's some cubs like that bog trotter what are rotten to the core. At the end of the day, I'm upstairs. At the end of the day, I'm upstairs make sure they get what they deserve. Alright, let's put this one way of looking at it. Divine justice is one thing, though. The Reaper taking matters into his own hands and claiming lives is another. Well, I ain't like the McGillets of this world, so I ain't scared. I got principles, see?
A trait in you which is to be admired, Miss Lestrade.
Oh, I just gave her a rest, alright?
As I was saying, congratulations are in order. The news of your acquittal was very welcome news to me indeed. Let me express my heartfelt congratulations, Gina.
Well, that's definitely...
There you are, Hurley. How long have you been? Yeah. Honestly, I went to the main entrance especially to meet you there.
Ah, Iris, my dear, I do apologize. But wait until I tell you what happened. This pair made utter fools of themselves. And your father's dead.
What happened?
As you know, I have a penchant for disguise. I was hiding in this room dressed as a bailiff. But these idiot dolts didn't notice my presence at all. I have no idea. Can you imagine? Would you credit it?
I'm not sure, really.
I beg your pardon.
I'm sorry, Hurley, but you just don't have the weighty presence you seem to think you have. In fact, you really ought to be careful about that. It's going to land you in trouble one day.
Impersonating an officer of the law? No.
Nah. I'll be careful.
Ouch.
Well, that won't be a relevant case in the future.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's such a shame that my daddy isn't here. I was so hoping to throw a party for Ginny tonight. But you won't be able to come, will you?
I mean, she hasn't been arrested for the other shit yet. Don't look like I'm going to be going nowhere for a while. You were the judge's pet. I guess I have to make amends for, apparently. All of them offenses. What was it again? Breaking and entering, taking the bog charger stuff, what was in the lug, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I think you'll find that basically being a pickpocket is the main offense. But diving in an offense, it's a job, isn't it? I don't think so. Still, it has got me thinking all this. Maybe I should start looking for another line of work. I mean, you didn't start off as a lawyer, did you, Odo? Well, no, but I was never a pickpocket. Well, anyway, I reckon I could make a change. I could be a professional assassin. With this gun. I'm going to do something for all them lot like me from the slum. Something that makes a difference for them.
That's a wonderful idea, Ginny, and I'm sure you could do it. What is it?
A part of me thought she was going to like move her hand and like disguise be revealed.
Nothing. Miss Gina Lestrade. The prison carriage has arrived, ma'am. Come with me to the rear gate at once. God, they don't even have sentencing? They just go straight to jail? Like, she hasn't even been, like, brought to court for those charges. Like, they're just, oh, straight to jail, see it.
Nope. Shut up, go to jail.
Yeah. Right, well, looks like I'm off then. Yes. Goodbye, Gina, and good luck. Odo? Yes?
You're a changeling and your people are in the Gamma Quadrant.
Oh my god. Such a long animation, Jesus. Ah! What was that for? I don't know, I mean...
We spent a lot of time on
Yeah.
this animation.
I don't know what to say, so, I'll shot you with green smoke.
Ah, indeed. Perhaps the situation calls for a phrase hitherto missing from your vocabulary, Miss Lestrade.
Eh?
On occasions such as this, I would recommend a simple thank you.
Oh.
Oh, yes. It's good advice, Ginny.
Right, I see. Well... Oh my god. Thanks, Odo. Aw. Thank you for everything what you've done. For believing in me. Not at all. In fact, that should be my line. Thank you, Gina.
She's not the Swan Girl, is she?
There's no way. No, like... I mean, I don't remember what she looked like, but there's no way to
Okay.
do that. Well, there she goes. I wonder if I'll ever see her again.
Well, quite an indomitable pick.
Oh, I nearly forgot I brought a paper outside. It's a special edition, and this trial is all over the front page.
There's no way they wrote and printed the newspapers in the time
It's
that
been
the trial
added to
was
the court record.
done. Yeah.
Pickpockets, and it's proven. Isn't it wonderful?
You should have shown it to Gina, Iris. She would have been thrilled.
Oh no, Ashley. But anyway, would you like the good news or the bad news?
Not again. Okay, my guess is like the ship that Suzada was on was delayed or something, so she's still here.
Yeah.
Well, what do you say, Rudo, Helly?
As usual, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first.
Absolutely not. I have no intention of listening to anything but good news.
And there you have it. How people answer that question says a lot about them, doesn't it?
So I'll go there.
Alright then, maybe let's start with the good news this time. The rain has finally stopped. It was a record level of rainfall apparently.
Well, that's good news indeed. We can journey back in greater comfort.
Alright then, what's the bad news?
The huge storm has left the sea very choppy. The channel in particular's awful, so sailing out of the Dover has been delayed by a day or more.
Wait, Dover?
That's right. If we head to the station immediately, we may still be able to make time to wave Susie off.
But there won't be a train, surely? We couldn't be that lucky.
Think I am, Mr. Naruhodo.
Mr. Sholmes, right?
I rushed to Victoria Station earlier and made arrangements for a special express. If we hurry now, we shall be there in time for dinner. And I know of a fine restaurant that serves the most delicious basil.
The Great Detective does it again!
Indeed, he does. I happen to be aware of a number of the rail transport directions for it.
He just blackmails everyone. What?
I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily laid on the locomotive elementary.
Just an idea, but it might be wise to stop manipulating people that way.
What are we waiting for then? To London, Victoria!
Oh god, I thought there was going to be like a murder on the train.
Letter case. 18th April, 5:32 a.m. Port of Dover, Quayside.
Dum dum. That took somewhat longer than I had anticipated.
Yeah, but it's 12 hours just on this train. Oh my god.
Susie's boat must be about to leave now.
Mrs. Zato, where are you? She can't be that hard to pick out of the crowd. She's wearing a kimono. Oh, yeah, right there.
And especially when she's the only one.
Yeah. Over there, look. It looks like she's reading something. She can, like, dramatically throw the book into the ocean. Oh!
Yep.
I called it. Mrs. Otto, wait! What are you doing?
Mr. Naruhodo, what are you doing here?
We came as soon as we could after the trial. I mean, we heard that sailings were being delayed due to the bad weather, you see.
I see.
I'm so happy to see you again.
Yes, I totally wasn't doing something suspicious.
Yeah.
Then tell me, how did Gina's trial go?
It went well. She was acquitted.
That's wonderful. Really wonderful news.
The book you're about to throw into the sea. It was your Encyclopedia of British Law, wasn't it?
Oh dear. I was hoping you hadn't seen that. I'm not worthy of practicing law in any way now. So I was saying my final farewell.
You're saying goodbye to law? You, Susato-san?
Would I be correct in assuming it's because of the people, Miss Susato? I deliberately altered the scene of a crime, and then I tried to hide the fact.
I don't, like... Could she not have just said, hey, I opened the people so I could get in the door to see if someone was in danger? Like, is this that big of a deal? Like, it's a weird thing to be guilty of. I like the story that we made up where she's actually a spy. That's much more interesting.
Oh, way more interesting. Yeah. What I did is utterly unforgivable.
That reminds me. How did you even come to have this, Susie?
I stole it. On the evening of the incident, Mr. Sholmes had invited Gina to dinner, if you remember.
Oh, yes, we had a wonderful time.
Well, Gina gave us a little introductory lesson, didn't she? To the art of pickpocketing, I mean.
Oh, that was so much fun. I stole Renault's armband.
Yeah, please don't do that again, Iris. That's very important to me.
Well, if it's so important, you should pay more attention to it. You didn't notice for ages.
On a whim, I thought it would be fun to see if I could take the cat flap mat, so I put it in my sleeve.
Really?
And then, I rather forgot about it until I found myself in Mr. Winterbeck's shop with it later that night.
I see.
Wait, how could you forget that you have a clunky device inside your kimono?
Yeah, clunky bladed device hanging out in your sleeve.
And then,
Bang.
Mr. Sholmes! Leave me, Mr. Naruhodo!
Right.
After Mr. Naruhodo had left the shop, I started to think that door started to play on my mind.
The storeroom door, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes, if Gina was anywhere in the shop, I realized it could only be behind that door. And at that moment, the little device that had up my sleeve sprang into mind. I was so worried about Gina, I simply had to know.
So you use the cat supplement to make the people in the door.
As captured in a photographic print of the shop. By one of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
Indeed, it was of the first importance at the point. Precisely when the peephole was made, that information would prove to be Mr. Naruhodo's greatest weapon. Though naturally, without proof, it would have amounted to nothing. But when I looked through the hole in the door, the sight that met my eyes made my blood run cold. Thoughts started to run through my mind. I remembered that trial 2 months earlier.
The trial of Magnus B. Gilton.
I thought about how he had manipulated the evidence and arranged false testimony to secure his freedom. It made the British justice system feel very dark and sinister to me. And then, a terrible thought occurred to me. What if some wicked criminal was planning to do the same thing now? Because, from the appearance of the crime scene, it looked exactly as though Gina had shot Mr. Winterbank. Even though I was sure she would never have done such a thing.
You were worried that the true culprit would try to frame her for the crime?
That's right. But then I realized it would be very difficult for anyone to give false testimony in this case.
What do you mean? Because they didn't have the door.
Well, the crime would appear to have happened behind the door of a locked room. For someone to claim falsely to have witnessed it, there would have to be a way to see behind the door.
Ah, the thing that we figured out already.
Yes.
Yeah.
From which a peephole would be the very thing. Only the peephole I made wasn't actually there until after the crime had been committed, of course. Why do we need to go over this?
We already solved the case.
And the criminal would know that, so it wouldn't make any difference. But the possibility of a rabbit and jeans trap was there, was it not?
A trap? Is that why she did it?
A trap!
So, is that why you kept it a secret, Susie? You never mentioned that you made the peephole to anyone, not even to the police.
I know, and I knew at the time what I was doing was wrong. A criminal offense, even. That's why I decided to confide in Mr. Sholmes. If Mr. Naruhodo was completely backed into a corner with no other possible means of escape, the truth about the people could save him. That was my plan.
She really does think of everything. But then, why didn't you just tell me everything before the trial began?
My dear fellow, you're not thinking straight. Because that would have made the game shorter.
Yeah.
If she had done that, it would have rendered you complicit in the whole escapade.
She literally did it to see if someone was in danger. Like, how... That's not tampering with a crime scene if you're doing it to, like, try to save someone's life.
You could have disbarred if you'd been seen to have knowingly tampered with the crimes. So Miss Hosoto decided to shoulder the burden of responsibility alone. For your sake and Miss Lestrade.
Miss Hosoto.
Not at all. The truth is, when it happened, I did it because I'd lost a little of my faith in the law.
The law. Oh.
I was worried that the right person wouldn't be convicted of the crime. But the moment I allowed myself to think that is the moment I lost my right to call myself a judicial assistant.
What you did isn't comparable to what he did. Graydon is the one who lied to the witness stand, using that people as a way to implicate Gina. And besides, the people inconsistency hadn't existed, I'm not at all sure that she would have been acquitted in the end. Miss Hosoto, what you did saved Gina's life. I mean, I certainly wouldn't be able to get her off. Look, I'm not a good lawyer. Alright? You need to set that up for me.
With your Mr. Naruhodo, you saved me too, from my regrets.
That was easy. She was pretty upset about that, but we said one sentence and she's good.
Well, we must all be thankful that Miss Lestrade's freedom has been assured.
Yes, exactly. Although some of the loose ends in that trial will continue to play on my mind, I'm sure.
But the music box does contain secret messages, Mr. Naruhodo. What a triumph to work that out. I'm full of admiration.
When did she hear about that? Well, actually, that argument wasn't quite as compelling as I thought it was.
Oh,
There was a communications officer among the jury members, you see? A telegraph operator. She said that the majority of the sounds on the disc were just meaningless tones.
as one would expect, after all, we are all talking about secret government communication. No doubt they were written in cipher to avoid being readily understood should they have been intercepted.
In cipher, I see. So then we can never have hope to understand the message anyway.
Nonsense, my dear fellow. It's quite a zero-pi problem, I assure you.
Well, she said it wasn't Morse code, not that it just was like nonsense letters. Like if it was nonsense letters, then you expect it to be encrypted, but it would still be Morse code. It sounded like it was just like random noise. But let's see.
I guess it could be as simple as getting the dots and dashes backwards.
Yeah, maybe. Oh.
Hey!
What?
So, Gi.
Asogi was Kazuma's name, right? Kazuma Asogi.
Well, that can't be a real word, can it? How funny.
Wait! Iris, what did you just say?
Oh, I just said Asogi. Does that word mean something to you?
Means something. Asogi was the name of my best friend.
What?
Wow, this would have been a really interesting thread for this game to be about. Too bad.
Yeah. But how? That name, Iris?
Why did you say that name? Martha!
I wrote it down during the travel before, when the message was played on the music box.
She transcribed it on the fly. She really is a genius.
I thought the message probably would be written out in plain Morse code, so I tried various ways to interpret it. But whenever I tried, the words just didn't seem to make any sense. That is in English, at least.
Oh,
It suddenly occurred to me, you see, there's more than one Morse code, not just the English variety. Various countries around the world have altered and added to Morse code to use in their own languages.
I don't believe it. Are you saying...
That's right. I've only actually seen a chart of Japanese Morse code once before. But I think it's based on the Iroha pangram, isn't it?
You mean to say that in Japanese Morse code, the message says asogi?
Yes, I think so. Sorry, but I don't remember all the Japanese Morse code.
Well, we can just go to the library and find it. I guess.
Iris, would you let me see that?
Susato, yeah, do you know that? Do you know Japanese Morse code? She eats the paper. Like, oh well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, mystery solved! Yes, I spent some time studying it. Because I'm quite sure Morse code will become ever more important in international communications. Then might I recommend, my dear madam, that you focus your efforts on the English version. Be that as it may, Iris, show me the message, please.
Of course.
Oh, what can this possibly mean?
Whatever's in that long sequence of supposedly meaningless dots and dashes. It's made the color drain from Susato-san's face. And my headphones are making a weird noise. It's annoying. Anyway.
This message is written in Japanese Morse code.
So the British Empire has been using Japanese for its secret communications?
I don't understand the reason why, but the message appears to be a list of 4 people's names.
4 names?
The first is Kei Asogi.
Kazuma Asogi. Why? Why was his name on that disc?
The second is A Shin.
Shin? I don't recognize that name.
The third is T. Gergerson.
Gregson.
Oh, it would seem Tobias Gregson is the third man on the list.
What's his name doing in a secret government communication as well?
And the last name?
It's gotta be us or Susato.
Yeah.
It'd be the only ones that would be so dramatic but less. Or the dead guy from the first case. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's the matter, Miss Susato?
It's just so strange. So unexpected.
Oh, what is it, Susie? Don't keep me in suspense.
Your dad's dead.
That's what it says. Iris's father is dead. That's what it says.
Yeah. That's a weird name.
Yeah.
The last name is James.
Oh! Oh shit!
What?
Wilson.
Wilson!
John H. Wilson, you mean Daddy?
It says only J. Wilson, so I'm afraid I can't be sure. But, you know. Then after the 4 names it reads, if I translate from Japanese, that is all 4. And that's the end of the message, or rather, the end of what you noted down, Iris.
Wow. I just can't believe it. Who'd ever have thought? Those discs contain Japanese Morse code. You mentioned a strange list of some disturbingly familiar names.
It would appear that this particular message is a communication of some kind between Great Britain and the Empire of Japan.
So, Daddy could be in Japan? Where is Susie and Runo come from?
Yes, his body.
Yeah.
No, it's not very likely, really, is it? I mean, there are thousands of people with the surname Wilson, and there must be lots of J's among them.
Yeah, but how many Wilsons live in 1900 Japan?
Yes.
it's gonna cut it down a little bit. Professor John H. Wilson, a visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University. We can't tell Iris about that now. We just can't. That would we gotta let this simmer for a while.
Oh, yeah. We have to give her plenty of false hope.
So strange. Somehow, in solving the case of Mr. Windenbag's murder today, I feel like I've rolled back a boulder at the mouth of a very dark cave.
I do wonder if perhaps it's a dark cave that we shouldn't go wandering inside.
Honk.
Oh dear! The ship is going to set sail soon!
Yes, it seems so.
I'll sail on that steamship first to the port of Dunkirk in France. Then I'll change onto a larger passenger vessel bound for Japan.
It's a pretty big boat already.
You're really going then, Susie.
We wish you a safe passage, Mrs. Otto. Thank you so much. I wish you all the very best.
Mr. Zato, I had hoped to have you always at my side to guide me and support me.
Mr. Naruhodo, I do.
Yeah, please come back soon. As far as I'm concerned, you really are the very best judicial assistant in the world.
Whee!
Anime eyes.
I'm quite sure. I'll be back before you know it.
Really, Susie?
Oh, forget your promise I've yet to fulfill.
A promise?
About your script.
Ah,
Oh yeah, why is that book not allowed to be published? Come on. Oh yes, The Hound of the Baskervilles.
well, I'll be waiting for you, Susie, as a promise is a promise.
Definitely, Iris. Mr. Naruhodo,
Yes?
do you remember the first time we met?
Yeah, it was at the trial of that when Dr. Wilson died. On the SS Bree, when I was dragged out from that wardrobe, still half asleep. No, she was literally at the trial. Oh my god. If I remember rightly, you threw me halfway across the cabin with a Susato takedown.
You know very well that I'm talking about after that.
Like the second time you threw me on the ground, or was it when you put me in handcuffs, or...
It's strange, but being thrown together as we were in that case, I somehow fell straight away.
I was the one being thrown around.
And you were the perfect person to continue Kazuma Samaga's great legacy.
You were the perfect Patsy.
Yes.
Mr. Zato.
And my instincts were right. I really want to believe. No, I'm sure that I'll be back soon. Farewell until then.
By soon, I mean like at least 9 months, because like it takes like 3 months to do this this trip, and then like gotta take time at home, right?
Oh,
You gotta find another. This trip is probably only scheduled like once a year. Like it's probably gonna be like at least one war in the way. You know, in the meantime, like probably get a dysentery. Like you know,
Yeah,
You
when
know
was
how
the
it is.
Russo-Japanese War again?
it was like early 1900s, I think.
Somehow we seem to have come to the end of the adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Who is this president?
Or the first
Why do we need a narrator?
Looking back now, it feels as though fate has led me on this journey.
Wait, who is this?
Is that supposed to be Sholmes?
Is it? It's
I
the
also
cat.
like that the cat is with them.
Yeah, it's the cat. The cat's
Fate
narrating.
led me to becoming a lawyer,
Wait, what?
traveling halfway around
This
the
is
world
Naruhodo?
to meeting the great detective.
You just can't tell what she's
I'm
fucking
sure
saying.
there'll be trials and tribulations ahead. Of course there will. But whatever happens,
Why?
I know I'll be able to
Oh
turn
my god, they just
fortunes
can't hear
around.
anything.
Oh my god. Street! Street! Street!
Yeah.
I have the greatest friends in the world on my side.
I swear that they had Naruhodo's voice in an earlier cutscene, and it was nothing like this.
His English is getting better.
It's been like several months since we saw it, but I remember it being very different. I remember Susato having a very strong British accent.
Yes, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, Mr. Sholmes?
I have some rather awkward news. You're going to jail.
Yeah.
The railway company has decided to sue over the Special Express train repair.
Oh my god. Huh?
It caused such a commotion on the line. All the other trains had to wait at stations.
And it still took us 12 hours to get here?
But really, we would never have made it to Dover in time otherwise.
Like, Dover's not that far from London. I think, like, it shouldn't take this long.
Anyway, I explained everything and how it was all your fault.
Huh? What?
I believe a formal complaint should be delivered to your office tomorrow. But not to worry, my dear fellow. According to Miss Susato,
You'll have to visit yourself in court.
oh my god.
It's alright. I'm perfectly happy to testify. He really didn't look like that sort of man who'd do something so outrageous. See?
Oh my god.
Oh,
Mr. Sholmes.
yes?
He's gonna say objection. Oh. A word, if you don't mind.
Why,
There
sir,
we go.
any word you like.
Yeah.
Bellow it out, my dear fellow.
Oh yes, I love Runo's words. And I know just the one who use here.
I really must say,
Objection.
well, John, we did it. It took 21 episodes.
Oh my god. Kill me.
So I'm pretty pissed at how many unresolved
Oh.
threads. Oh shit! God damn it!
In the following weeks, hundreds of music box rides, something was afoot, though it transpired I had ordered them all myself. So I advertised them for sale with used by Mr. Sholmes to solve my important cases. And the money I've earned consulting detective work pays a pittance by comparison.
Jake says every trial in the second game is way longer.
What?
What the fuck?
Kill me.
Oh, I haven't slept a week. This manuscript is due tomorrow now. When I'm busy, Hurley usually cooks me breakfast. Where cooks is no mistake for some dry toast and insipid coffee. I do miss Susie and a lovely Japanese breakfast.
I guess we'll talk about the game after it's done.
Yes.
Witness your testimony. Oh, what's
Your
this?
testimony is riddled with contradictions.
I don't remember these people at all.
Exactly, you rare Koban.
Well, I do not know his father is an innocent man, or are you calling my son a liar?
This is my courtroom. It's no place for your petty arguments.
Dude, this judge is just a Chad. Like, look at that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Having delivered the Russian dancer to shore in Shanghai, I laid low on the steamship for a while. But last night, I apprehended an extremely suspicious Japanese national on board. I've done nothing nothing wrong. All I did was give Wagahai's offspring refuge in my pocket. A man brings some kittens on board, and suddenly he's a hardened criminal. It's not fair.
Absolutely no pets.
Yeah. Yeah, remember me? I was a character. Scientific investigation should be the gold standard for investigation. I dream of a world governed by the... I'm like a great clock, in fact, whose hundreds of parts mesh together in perfect unison.
I'm totally not the bad guy.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have but 2 minutes and 37 seconds until my next appointment. I was really big on the cover of this game for some reason. Even though I'm actually totally irrelevant.
And our latest Rants magazine is out, and I'm in it again. Whenever I say that one line she wrote, I get a standing ovation. Want to hear it? Not bad, I suppose, for an amateur. Glug, glug, glug. Our ladyship puts me to shame.
Been visiting the old gal on daily basis, of course. Jody, my old jailbird. Must say, ballet with those ballet stairs every day is doing wonders to the dicky peg. Managing rather well with the housework too. Got this maid business tapped up, I'd say. Hope the gossipy neighbors don't realize the man of the house is his own maid.
You really sound like Cannon.
I also like that he wears a maid outfit. Oh my god.
Oh, these people. My Broly's back on the beat again. All thanks to the Reaper.
There's nothing to enjoy more these days than hunting out small changes in government. Oh, I better probably now look at the Londoners. They're doped. Inhabitants of a lovely one. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rowley.
I wonder who else they're gonna show. Oh, why is she in? Oh, yeah, that's right.
Looks like I'm gonna be doing time for a bit now, but Iris comes every day for a nada, so it ain't too boring. She's always going on about all them cases Will Sholmes is looking into. Criminal investigations are kinda interesting when you get into them.
Oh, she's gonna become a cop.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, Lestrade, like, I guess she should be.
Yes, I renounce my upbringing and chose life a sophisticated crime. But regrets? Please.
Give over, bro. This ain't the Ash we used to know.
We got time yet a planned comeback of Littleton and Skulkin. Milk run, eh?
The three musky Watsons. Milk in the neighborhood for all it's worth. That was so difficult to do.
Oh, man.
Just look at how fucking different they look. Like, freaky alien people compared to this regular looking person, right?
Like, it's weird to put like a parody of Mario and Luigi in your game.
I don't know if we were supposed to see that as strongly as we did. Oh shit.
Hey! Come to realize what this life is all about. Never hold us up. Promise. Your sister will return to you one day. But for now, I leave you with many memories and a heartfelt wish that life will treat you well.
I'll return to you someday after the statute of limitations for tampering with the crime scene is passed.
That's more like it. Ah, yes. Zoom in. Wait, I don't think color photography was even a thing at this point in history.
I don't know, they manually colored it in. I don't know. I mean, those pictures we had earlier were in colored, now that I think about it, from the crime scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. This game isn't very realistic.
Objection! You see what I did there?
Oh my god, is there more? Guess I should
Now
be
it turns into like a platformer.
yeah. Okay, reading the rest of the credits, I guess, while they walk through the story. Okay.
So thoughts.
Okay, so I guess the short version is it wasn't my favorite Ace Attorney game. Like, there were some problems with it, and like sorry, the short version is it's all right. It's still better than Apollo Justice, so I'm happy. I hate Apollo Justice. That game is terrible. But like, so I probably have some like nostalgia glasses for like the first 3 games. But I feel like they weren't quite as long-winded, and like they didn't leave so many fucking threads open at the end of the game. Like, we were literally at the end of the game, and we're still like, hey, here's some more stuff for next game. Like, that's just really frustrating, right?
Well, but were any of them set up to have direct sequels like this?
Not quite like this. Not like, oh, hey, half of the stuff in this game isn't even done yet. Like,
oh, Kazuma died.
yeah, that's kind of sad.
The thing that gets me is like, I don't know why people like this.
I mean, I didn't
don't
hate
get me
it.
wrong. Like, I enjoyed hanging out with you, but I did not enjoy this game. Like, I don't get it. I don't see why people like this. I don't know. I might just. I don't know. Like, I don't like that the game, like, has to explain a thing 15
That
times.
got really frustrating. You're right.
That like, basic logic and, like, deductive reasoning, which is, like, the whole thing of Sherlock Holmes, is, like, either blatantly ignored or just really wonky, right? And it's, I don't know. Also, the Gilded isn't that short.
Yeah. He's like really hunched over too here. It's like if he was standing up straight, he'd probably be as tall as Naruto.
But I don't know. Like, it was interesting, but like, I definitely would not have like bought or played this, I guess. Like, this to me very much felt like an anime.
Yeah,
It felt like, yeah, like it felt like an anime.
I feel like if this was the first Ace Attorney game that I played, I wouldn't be that thrilled. But like, I think the first 3 are really, really good. I played them like in like high school, so you know I have lots of good memories of that. Right, so that's gonna help me get through this.
Yeah.
I feel like I said, like I think the stories were a bit more concise and a bit more focused in the older ones. I did want to say that like I like the art style. I think they did a good job like actually taking advantage of being in 3D. Like the first 3D game, like in this series, the animations were like not slow, but like they weren't exciting. Is how I'll put it. Like they didn't feel quite right. They felt way better in this one. And granted, it's like still like very basic 3D graphics, like compared to like any other game. But I think they did a good job using it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it was kind of interesting seeing the character animations, and you know, and it was one of those things where it's like I was kind of like like though they repeated it a lot and things like that,
Yeah.
like it. You know, I was waiting to see like what other thing are they going to have them do and stuff like that. But I do very much like the art style, and I like the animation. I do like though that I found an animation bug, which was nice.
What was that?
When the one guy's cheek kept on inflating.
Oh yeah.
But like I have to say, like the game had a lot of charm to it.
Mhm.
It's just I couldn't get past this, like the structure, I guess, of the game,
Yeah.
or
yeah.
like
Oh my god, the game does not end. Okay, here we go. Jake says that time that we were in cuffs, that was pretty cool animation.
oh my god.
Oh my god.
Like that is one thing about this game where it's like you could easily have turned any number of things into a drinking game
Yeah.
just because of like how repetitive stuff was. Like, well, I guess that's the thing. So it's like some repetition is good, but the levels of repetition in this game are insane. So I don't know, but. So, what are your, like, if you were to guess how the second half goes, what do you think is like the main plot points or beats of the second game?
Okay. Well, I mean, I assume we're gonna get into this whole government secret thing some more, but that'll probably be like towards the end when we solve it. So I know Jake has told me, like, in the chat a couple times, like, there's one case that's a flashback to when the poet was still here. That he's going to be involved in it. Like, I think he's the defendant again or something.
Okay.
I assume because he's a really popular character or something. I don't know. So that's going to be part of it. Jake also mentioned that there's a case where you defend Van Zieks, which is another Ace Attorney classic, when you have to defend the prosecutor.
Wait, so then who is the prosecutor?
Like they probably bring in a different one.
Oh, okay.
Like, because in the past each game has a new prosecutor.
Do you think it would be like the Chief Justice?
It could be. It depends.
Now, do you still think though that like there's this conspiracy that goes all the way to the top?
I mean, there's clearly something going on, right? With his name, and we still have to deal with like who that woman was from the first case. Like, I think it'll probably she'll be the final boss, like hit her or the Supreme Court guy. Because like,
Yeah.
I mean, okay, like just looking at him, he looks like a bad guy, right? Like,
Yeah.
he looks like when he has his like heel turn in the court, like he'll have a really ridiculous breakdown, and like suddenly looks super evil. And he really is like on the poster, like ominously in the background. So like, there's no way he's not a bad guy, right?
Yeah.
It's
It's like you don't put the Emperor in the background of the poster unless like
exactly,
that guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there'll be that stuff. There's gonna be like at least one completely like unrelated case to that, which is probably gonna be the poet one. But yeah, so that's my guess, basically.
So how many stars would you give this?
So like in the series or like in general?
In both.
So I'd probably put this lower in the series. Like I said, better than Apollo Justice, because I don't like that game at all. Just like by itself, like if you don't like visual novels, this won't change your mind.
Yeah.
I personally I found it worth playing because I like the series, but if you don't like the series, you're not used to it, it's not gonna be that good, I think.
So it's like, definitely buy if you like these kinds of games.
Yeah.
Avoid if you don't.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah, I can't imagine. Like, so let's say, like, presumably we did 2 hours an episode, which we know that's not the case. Some went longer.
Mhm.
We probably put in, like, 30 hours.
I mean, more than that, because we
put in probably
At-
50 to 60
at least 42
Or 50.
hours, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
like, at least.
Yeah,
And we had
I would say 50 is
Yeah,
probably the
Yeah, and we had some 3-hour episodes, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's...
That's quite a lot of gameplay.
I guess you got your money's worth out of it, though. Like,
Yeah,
what was it
yeah,
called?
yeah.
Steam?
I don't remember, but I think I got it when it was on sale. But who knows?
Yeah.
I will say that Deltarune Chapter 2 is definitely the favorite game we played on stream still.
Same.
Yeah.
I did like the text decryption one, but
Yeah.
Deltarune was much
Yeah.
better.
Well, anyway, I guess that's we're just rambling now.
Yep.
So the StarCraft tournament, the CPL, is starting back up.
Ooh.
So I'm going to be casting that again. So that's probably what I'll be doing on the stream from now on, I guess. But we'll see what.
Excellent.
Yeah, we'll see when that. It's picking up like in like 2 weeks, I think, or a week now, something like that. Anyway, so that's it. This has been the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I'm Andrew, and with me is John. And thank
Yep.
you for watching, Jake, and occasionally other people.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.